before we get started into the actual games, we are 1 week into conference play.
Yep.
And so I had a question for you that would include basically you providing 3 Heisman hopefuls that you think have the best chance of getting to the Heisman finalists, and you can't choose 2 people from one team.
Give me 3 players from the Big Ten that could make it to the Heisman, and I can't pick 2 players from the same team.
Correct. So no JJ and Blake Corum.
I'm gonna go Mo Ibrahim, Blake Corum, CJ Stroud.
I think I got the same
would be
3.
my 3 right now.
I fumbled a little bit between, and I didn't think it was going to be a real one. Aiden O'Connell.
He had to have some.
And that's why I was just like,
early.
man, Purdue is not performing the way I want them to really give him that.
His numbers will be there, but he doesn't have the moments.
Yeah.
When you play for Purdue, you got to have those moments versus better teams. And he's already had a couple of those opportunities slip away from him this season. So, I don't know.
Yeah. And then, Braylon Allen not showing up against Ohio State kept him kind of out of it.
He still had like 170 yards.
He did have a lot. It just didn't.
Where did it get? I mean, but also Graham Mertz fucking sucks ass, man. Yeah. Sorry, we'll take that for now.
That's cool. The house is divided once again with your boy, the resident Michigan fan, Marcus Sewell, as well as the Ohio State Buckeye fan.
It's very pretentious.
It's JTG. I mean, it's official now, so I might as well just use it. Anyway, I mean, we might as well get into the actual conversation, the first game that we're going to talk about this week, Ohio State and Wisconsin. Yeah, no, going into this game, I was concerned about how well our DBs may play against Graham Mertz because he is not good, but it's inconsistency. Sometimes he might give you a good game, but you just don't know what you're going to see out of him. And I figured they'd run the ball with Braylon Allen, open up maybe a little bit for Graham Mertz, and we'd have a completely different game. They just failed to stop our offense, especially within the first quarter, first half.
I don't understand what it is, like whether it's Mel Tucker at Michigan State or Paul Chryst at Wisconsin. When these teams sometimes they go into Ohio State and it's like you know for the weeks to come that you have to put up with the offensive barrage that they're going to try to start the game with. They're going to try to get out fast, score a whole bunch of points really quickly. And why teams go in there so ill prepared for that and just end up shitting down their leg? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And then it just makes the remaining 3.5 quarters so inconsequential to the game because you were already down 4 touchdowns.
I think you said the same thing last year about
Michigan State.
Michigan State and Purdue, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's just like, why? What? Because then the rest of the game, it's like, oh well, now we'll be competitive. Now we'll try to get turnovers. We'll try to. Dog, you're down 28-7. It's over. It's done. Unless you're about to have the greatest comeback in Big Ten history, it's not going to happen.
No.
It's done. You basically just getting reps out there now. You just exercising.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, yo. Like, I don't know what it is. I can't even tell you the specific scheme that you need to do to stop it or slow it down. But it feels like they always get hit over the head and just be looking around like, oh, well, that was fun, boys. I guess we'll just stretch it out for the next 2 quarters and take a slow ride home with our chicken sandwiches. Like, fam, I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all.
I definitely didn't expect, especially with how much I heard about Jim Leonard's defense, that CJ Stroud would post 5 touchdowns and both Mayan Williams and Travion Henderson gets 100 yards rushing the ball.
Like, not the slightest bit of respect for that secondary. Not at all. I mean, they were out here throwing bombs to fucking Stover.
Yeah.
The tight end. They don't even get to him most times.
Yep. Case Stover was looking like a stud.
It doesn't. Wisconsin is bad, I think. The West, man. Ooh.
I was ready to
West
give
looks
Wisconsin Washington State almost beating Oregon. Like, oh, maybe they're not as bad. No, they just they didn't come to play.
Nope. And it's like for years I feel like we've been saying about Wisconsin. It's like, oh well, if they just get a quarterback. So then they finally land a 5-star, right? They get Graham Mertz in there, and it's like, so now is it the offense? Is it the scheme? Are guys just not getting open? Is it? I mean, he makes a lot of mistakes though. He makes a lot of bad throws.
Yes. Yep.
I don't know what it's gonna take for Wisconsin to get over that hump, man. It's like when they're not at their absolute best in their scheme, they're horrible. Mm-hmm. They're horrible. Even when they have a guy like Braylon Allen, if you can't do anything in the passing game, you can't keep up. And then on the other side, if you're going to give up 4 touchdowns in a quarter, bro, you was doomed before you got off the bus.
Yeah.
Doomed.
No cap.
Thrashing.
On from that game, let's talk about Minnesota versus Michigan State. Minnesota
row the boat, baby.
Is finally ranked. I feel like they should be ranked higher.
Yeah, no.
21 is not high enough.
No, it's not. It's not.
34-7 is indicative that they're not coming to play with any of the top talent of the Big Ten. I mean, it's not Ohio State or Michigan, but they can hang with the big boys, I think. And, obviously we just said that Mo Ibrahim should be a Heisman finalist. Whether or not he will be, that's to be seen, but he's been giving it his all.
They keep winning, and again, they have a very, very comfortable schedule here, man. They miss out on Ohio State and Michigan this year.
Mm-hmm. At least until the Big Ten championship.
Stomped the mud. Yeah, I was going to say until probably to the Big Ten championship. Stomped the mud hole in Michigan State this weekend. They look good,
is
man.
Tuck coming?
No.
Like, is that even scary anymore?
No, it's
not. Do they keep saying that now?
No, it's not. And then now they got beat so thoroughly this game that it wasn't that thing where they usually do, where teams get so far ahead out of them and they score late touchdowns when they're in prevent defense, and it's like, oh well, they keep fighting. They don't give up. They'll keep coming at you no matter how bad you're kicking them in the teeth. Yes. Right? No, that didn't happen this game. Y'all got down and y'all held y'all down.
Yeah.
Held y'all down. That was an assault. They should be putting out an APB on PJ Fleck and the Gophers right now for assaulting y'all like that.
Yes, for sure.
Because that was dastardly. I mean, most of the things that I said about Michigan State fleshed themselves out in this game, man. The offensive line didn't look great. They couldn't run the football. Peyton Thorne looked like crap. And now he has his third multiple interception game in a row.
That's crazy.
In a row. They don't have another guy over there, y'all. They don't have another guy. God forbid we switch up the quarterback who's thrown 8 interceptions in the last 4 games. You know what I mean? God forbid we go for a change of pace to try to ignite the offense.
Averaging 2 interceptions is rough.
It's nuts. That's crazy.
CJ Stroud just threw his first interception for the season. You're throwing 2 a game?
That's a frustrating game on NCAA, boy.
That is.
Jesus. It's coming apart. He doesn't have the depth. The defensive line didn't do anything against Tanner Morgan in terms of pass rush.
Yep.
It was bad. It was bad. I expected Minnesota to win. I didn't expect them to get up like that.
Yeah. Purdue beat Florida Atlantic 28-26. McConnell's not even playing right now. They've got Austin Burton in. Homeboy threw 21 for 29, 166 yards, three touchdowns, 1 interception.
Oh, you can't ask for nothing better than that.
From your
I will continue to say the same thing about Purdue. You will do nothing in this conference without establishing a run game. So it seems like they meshed that in pretty well. If they won with the quarterback only throwing for 160.
Dylan Downing ran for 113 yards, 1 touchdown.
You got to. You have to.
If you that was their guy. Their guy is
the other guy.
I can't remember, the really dark guy.
Yeah. You gotta run the ball, man. Like, you cannot be that hard-headed and set in your ways, in your scheme, that you will throw the ball when the down and distance or the game situation doesn't call for it. That's just not good football.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good football. They've taken a couple lumps here this season that they didn't have to, and hopefully their coach learns from that for the rest of the season. I'm hoping.
Yeah, no, I agree. Northwestern loses to Miami of Ohio, 17-14.
Dumpster fire over there, boy.
Literally did not see this coming whatsoever. 3 losses. We had them winning all 3 games going into Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State's probably going to run over them. And it's
Nope. Not so fast, my friend. This is the perfect situation for them to trip up Penn State. This
You
is
think
the
so?
perfect. This is the quintessential Northwestern game for them to trip up.
shit
Penn
the
State.
bed all season and play up for one team.
Yes, absolutely. After losses to Duke and Miami of Ohio, they will give Penn State the game of their lives. Now, is Penn State going to have the resolve to know that they're a better team, that they didn't play down to Northwestern's level, and to continue trekking on? Well, Penn State, I think, is probably one of these games we're getting ready to get to. Had a little trouble this weekend as well. So we will see. I feel like Pat is safe to a certain degree because who else are you going to get to come coach at Northwestern?
No, for sure.
But the inconsistency of the team, I think, is something to be concerned of. And now this is 2 years in a row that they're underperforming. So I don't know, man. He's got to do something to right the ship there. But then again, it is a loss to Miami of Ohio. So similar to the Duke loss, it doesn't hurt them in the long run of their season, but they just got to get better, man. They have to.
Way better.
Got to get better.
Yeah, no, if Penn State loses to Northwestern, we'll have 3 teams ranked. We'll have 3 teams ranked. That'd be tough.
Oh, man.
And
well, but see, here's the thing. You had a team like Florida who just lost in a one-position game against Tennessee in the SEC after already having a loss. They were ranked in the late teens as it was.
Yeah.
To start the season.
Yeah.
They should have already been out.
Oh, for sure. They love not giving Texas A&M kicking
Texas
them out of the
A&M
top
lost
25.
to goddamn Appalachian State and was ranked the next week.
Yep.
Come on, fam. Come on.
Yep. That's crazy.
Who else lost and is still ranked over there?
It was Texas A&M. Florida. You said Florida.
Florida. They just now probably not about to be ranked.
It was a couple of SEC teams though. I feel like.
How far back did Arkansas fall after losing to?
I didn't even check that.
To Texas A&M.
You know they're still ranked 20.
I mean, I guess it's not terrible, but it's only not terrible because you continue to rank Texas A&M. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Fucking Miami was ranked this weekend too, weren't they? After their horrendous loss last week. Josh Gaddis, boy, at Middle Tennessee State.
Gross. Penn State beat Central Michigan 33-14. They're going into, after Northwestern, they're going into the toughest part of their season. They got you guys, Minnesota, and then us.
Yeah, we'll find out about Penn State for sure.
So if they don't lose to Northwestern, they'll definitely lose some games thereafter.
Well, but see, they're gearing up. This is the perfect storm for Northwestern. It is the perfect storm for Pat Fitzgerald and Northwestern after some of these out-of-conference losses to come back in conference and get a win versus one of the guys at the top of the East. It's setting up perfect for you, Pat. Just take the opportunity, man. Please. Just do it. Knock James Franklin off. Do it. Please. Do it. Because they are not going to be paying attention to Northwestern. Well, you know what? They should be. And Franklin and his staff should keep them focused on Northwestern. But it's going to be hard even for them not to want to look ahead to Michigan, to Minnesota, to Ohio State, because they know they have a gauntlet coming. Mm-hmm. Of course, it's one game at a time, but hey, you're human.
You easily overlook a team
like
that.
You're human, man. Northwestern hasn't shown you much outside of that Nebraska game.
Yeah. So Sean Clifford, 217 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Katron Allen, a name that we didn't expect because we were probably thinking Nick Singleton, 111 yards, 1 touchdown.
How many carries?
13. Nick Singleton had 12 with 42 yards.
They got a couple backs, man.
Yeah.
They do have a couple backs, and The offensive line was looking good in terms of the rushing game this game. Don't know how much of a resistance we're getting versus Central Michigan, but they did keep the game close for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
So, take that for what it is. But Penn State continuing to be on that, I think that second tier of Big Ten teams right now, underneath Michigan and Ohio State, sitting there with. And I don't know, man. Minnesota has a legit claim to say that they're up there with Ohio State and Michigan right now because they're dominating the West.
Yep.
There's nobody else standing with them in the West. At least with Penn State, you would think that Michigan and Ohio State are in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not able to say that they're sitting on top of the division right now the way that Minnesota is.
Yeah. No, for sure. You gotta watch what you say about Penn State because we got some commenters that are with the shits.
Come get some, y'all. If you're a Penn State fan, then you know what your history of coming to Ann Arbor is. So I'm just saying. It's been some pleasant victories there outside of 2020. Obviously, that was the last time we lost. Was in 2020 versus Penn State. Ain't lost a game or a game at home. Excuse me. We haven't lost a game at home.
Got you.
Since 2020. Big house, baby, is treacherous out there.
Yikes.
All things get caught. Buckeyes, Nittany Lions. Just slayed a turtle the other day.
That's crazy. Iowa beat Rutgers 27-10. A little upset that, Rutgers
couldn't get a better showing.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, it's okay because I think this is a game at the beginning of the season that we would have expected Iowa to come in and win. Right? I don't think it says too much about Greg Schiano and where he's at with his program. He's got a guy over there on the other side who wants to do a lot of the same things. He's just been doing it longer, and the system is better.
Yeah, for sure.
Iowa scores 27 for the second week in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Offense showing life just in time to play Michigan, right?
Gross.
Just in time. I would like you to go back to scoring 7 points without a touchdown, please.
Gross.
Please.
I think Rutgers has a guy in Evan Simon who he's a young guy, and so he's prone to make mistakes, and you can't make mistakes against a defense like Iowa. So I think he threw 2 picks. So
yeah, and they've got some quarterback injuries too. I didn't think they knew who their starting quarterback was definitively going to be for most of the week on in. So they'll get it together, man. We knew Rutgers. The fact that they were 3-0, was already a leg up. They're a quarter through the season undefeated. That gets them halfway to bowl eligibility already. So
for sure.
If we're still sitting around 6-7 wins for them, they're on their way. They'll get there. Maybe. Hopefully. We'll see.
Maybe. Hopefully. Indiana lost to Cincinnati 45-24. That's a tough one because
I don't think they expected it to be quite that bad.
Yeah.
But Indiana, another one of those teams that were playing above their level.
Agreed.
And I think they kind of got a regression back to mean in this game. Impressed with Cincinnati because I know Tom Allen didn't march a slouch out there. So that's an impressive performance for sure. They'll, similar to what we were talking about with Rutgers, they'll find some wins in there to get bowl eligible. I think Indiana's trek is a little bit more treacherous than Rutgers here coming up. They'll talk about this win for a little bit just because it was such a wide margin, but they're 3-1. And if you would have told them that they would have got through their first 4 games of the season at 3-1, I think their expectations would have started changing a little bit. So they're in a good spot. They're not down and out.
Well, you know what? Okay, now that I think about it, Cincinnati scored a lot. I'm sitting here looking at this. Connor Bazelak threw for 31 of 66 passes.
Holy shit!
And I'm like, how did he get 66 passes off? And their runners got about 30 rushes.
They ran about 30 times. So they had the ball a lot. How many turnovers did they have? They had to have a lot of turnovers.
They had at least 2 picks from Connor Bazelak. I don't know if they had any fumbles.
But
with Cincinnati
the ball
scoring a lot. They scored 28 in the second quarter.
They almost had the ball. They almost had the ball for 100 plays.
Yeah.
And lost 45 to 12.
45 to 24.
45-24. Okay. I was about to say, how the hell? Okay, 45-24. Damn. Yeah.
They must have had the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see what the time of possession is on that.
So even looking at it from that perspective, it's like, guys, we possess the ball so much longer than them. If we can just secure the ball and finish drives with points, we could have won this game.
29 minutes and 1 second, which left Cincinnati with the ball 29 minutes and 59 seconds. So they didn't even have the ball more.
That is so odd.
2 interceptions thrown, 1 fumble lost.
These numbers sound so weird.
They do. I kind of want to watch that game. That sounds like a complete mess.
I don't even know what could possibly have been happening to get those outcomes. So you had the ball for like 90 plays, but you barely outpossessed the other team.
You didn't outpossess the other team.
Give me the numbers, the time again.
29 minutes and 1 second for Indiana.
For Indy. Okay.
29 minutes and 59 seconds for Cincy.
God damn it. What the hell?
25 third downs for Indiana.
Are these both? I guess Indiana does run a hurry up. So they both must have been out there running hurry up the entire time. They both ran up. They had to at least run 100 plays apiece.
Indiana ran 104 plays.
Oh, my God.
And Cincinnati ran 70
shit.
plays.
But since he outpossessed them.
Yeah.
In time.
Jesus. Look, I was just looking at these stats and I saw 66 throws. I was like,
that's a lot.
It's a little much. We didn't talk about Illinois playing on Thursday. Played Chattanooga, 31-0 over Chattanooga.
There you go. Your boy Chase Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yep.
Good. That's a guy who doesn't get a lot of coverage, kind of like Evan Hole at Northwestern, but he's a good back. Good back, dominant guy.
100 yards, 1 touchdown. Mm-hmm. Tommy DeVito, 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, throwing the ball. So
airing it out under Bielema.
Yeah. No, they definitely did their job. The only thing left to talk about is Michigan versus Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Want to address the tweet that I made a mistake on about the whole Swiss cheese thing. When you said it, I was like, yeah, that's actually probably right. But that was all first half that I saw, so I didn't see. I just saw JJ running for dear life a couple times, and I was like, maybe he did not have to do that a couple times.
You weren't the only one, and then we'll address more in the dubs and L's. I got some talking to Joel Klatt to do, but I don't know, man. This game was weird because offensively, I guess let's just start there. So clearly, the thing that everybody loved about JJ and wanted to see on the field, his improvisation, his legs, and all of that stuff. Clearly, they put him in a position where if he did that this game, they were going to be there to catch it. They were going to be there to catch him and making a mistake. He did. He broke the pocket a couple times where he didn't need to. They were playing him in quarters a lot. He weren't giving up the deep plays. And in the limited amount of times where they did man up and they had opportunities for one-on-ones, he just missed. And I think that ended up causing a lot of the instability. So you got the missed throws. You got him bouncing out of the pocket early on a couple of them. That was pretty much it. Offensively, I feel like play calling, I feel like it was okay, right? And here's why I say like it was okay. It wasn't perfect, but it was decent. Because if he hits on 2 of those deep balls out of the 4 that he missed, well, that's a 50-point game. It's a 50-point game right there. He gave up a couple touchdowns, at least 3. On those deep throws,
Yeah.
That's a whole different game. Now Maryland is approaching it different. Now we know they're passing the ball because they're down 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Talia had a couple of solid runs and started to gain a little bit more.
That was my biggest issue was getting out of the passing lanes, man. There was a couple times where the pressure was getting to him, and they would get completely out of their lanes and just opened up the middle and let him run through. We did it with the backup on that last drive. Don't even get me started on that shit. But in terms of the run fits overall, Junior Carlson didn't have a good game. And I gotta, bruh, I love Johnny. Love you. You know what I'm saying? You was the first review that I watched after the game. Nothing but respect. You already know that. But I gotta urge him to give my boy Junior some reprieve, man. He was all over his back. I don't know if he can play middle linebacker. He's we ain't never said that about Junior Carlson. We've never had a second guess about Junior Carlson being the most talented linebacker or the one that has the best chance to make it to the NFL. So he had a bad game. He did. He had a bad game. He whiffed a lot. He was trying to arm tackle. He didn't come and make the contact. What I'm seeing a lot is our defensive line is holding those offensive linemen up. They're not getting to the second and third level. We just need our guys to come and feel harder. And they've been doing that for most of the season. UConn last week and this week wasn't that great. Wasn't that great. And that's not something that we've typically struggled with. So I ain't going to kill him over it. It looked bad, and so I understand where he was going with it, because it was a few times where Junior was waiting on the guy to get there, and he flung. But in all honesty, Littleton, the second back, was bigger than Colson. I ain't saying he should be scared. You want him to run in there with reckless abandon. You want him to go in there with bad intentions. But I'll take that one game versus a back like that as opposed to seeing it early on in the season. You know what I mean? Like, I'll accept that, because that guy's going to do that to a lot of other guys, just like Hassan Haskins. When you saw Hassan Haskins running the ball, guys weren't meeting him and driving him backwards at the line of scrimmage. Guys weren't bucking him back, going backwards when he was running the ball. They just got one of those guys whose momentum carries them forward when they run. Yeah. They just had a dude. But even with that, 70 yards and a half of football ain't getting it. And if we would have scored more, they would have ran less. If we would have capitalized on our shots on offense, they would have ran the ball less by nature, because now they're trying to catch up.
And I'll say, like, the very beginning of the game where, the ball doinks off of Maryland's kick returner's helmet, and then you guys score within 3 seconds, I thought that was the same control that you guys would have throughout the game, and it just it didn't fare that way.
We had some fumbles, right? We had some miscues that took us out of offensive rhythm. But the thing is, that I'm most confident about right now is that when Maryland started to get those opportunities in the second quarter to really extend the lead over Michigan, they got up 13-10. The defense stopped them. Mm-hmm. They made plays. They stiffened up against the run. They made an interception. The interception in the second half was kind of the same nature. Like, they were driving, they were threatening. We go get a pick with R.J. Moulton. So if the pass rush doesn't end up being elite at any juncture of the year, we can definitely depend on the secondary, because they were on those guys like glue, and that's probably the second best receiving core we'll see all year outside of Ohio State. So I'm confident in most of the stuff. Definitely some stuff to clean up. But I don't. We had a couple of these games last year, right, where things weren't necessarily going according to plan, and you got to win ugly. Rutgers, Northwestern was like that. Nebraska was like that. So you just got to win these games like this. This is conference play. We know what it is, and this is a team and a coach that's been playing against Michigan for 4 years now. So you would expect him to have some schemes and some ideas of what he wants to do to defend him. The better team just won, and that's kind of how you got to take it sometimes. I would much rather be Michigan than be
Arkansas was 10.
Arkansas. I'd much rather be them than Arkansas. Arkansas lost and so is Tennessee that much better than Maryland? Or is Arkansas that much better than Maryland? What I seen out of Maryland was a much improved team.
Yeah.
Much improved.
Yeah. For sure.
Then they gave us some stuff that I didn't expect. Defense was playing much better. They had an idea of outside of those runs by Corum, which thank God for him, boy. Thank God for him. 243 or something like that on the ground, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Keep it coming. And that's without Donovan, too. So that's another thing, right? We didn't have everybody on the offensive line. Trevor Keegan was out. Jonathan Edwards was out. We just got to get more consistent, man. Get healthy, get more consistent. We'll be all right.
For sure. Do you want to talk about any other out-of-conference games or anything?
Josh Gaddis.
Gross.
Homeboy.
Gross.
What's going on down there? Got smoked by Middle Tennessee State.
That's a tough one.
It stank over there.
It has to.
It stinks over there. That was a decent weekend of college football for sure. Yep. Wisconsin, you disappoint me.
Just
who
running
else?
through tests.
Michigan State, you did exactly what I thought you would do.
Yeah. I think that just says how much great Minnesota actually is. More so. Well, no, it says both.
Oklahoma
did lose.
That's who lost in the Big Ten. Oklahoma.
In the Big Ten?
Or the top 10. I knew somebody in the top 10 went down. I was like, man, you don't take tough wins for granted. Because it could have easily went the other way. You could be sitting here saying, oh, man, we took an early season loss to a team we were favored to beat. Now we got to wait on other people to lose. Sucks to suck.
I bet Nebraska wish they had Adrian Martinez now.
Ain't that some shit? Yes. Ain't that some shit?
Yep.
Get out of here, Adrian Martinez. We're getting a new quarterback. We're going to get Casey Thompson, and we're going to beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, how's beating Oklahoma now?
Yikes. Adrian Martinez strolling into the end zone, beating Oklahoma. That is just... Mwah. So I wonder if I'm going to hear Mr. RJ Young say some nice things about Michigan now. Oh, now that we've seen him play and have, with a defense versus a top-level offense, and your team obviously showed their ass versus Kansas State. Are we going to get any of that? I don't think so. We probably still ain't.
Yeah, for sure. I would too.
Give us your thoughts. What did you think on week four of college football this week? How did your team do? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you come back every week for a House Divided episode. We're huge college football fans, so come rock with us so we can review the week.
And make sure you subscribe for more. Like you said, we like to do this every week. And like you said, make sure you tune in. We'll be here next week at 10 o'clock.